over the regular season. And how'd the defense turn out? Oh, wait. For the first time of the Mahomes era, if we can throw it up, Dust, you have what is the number one scoring defense in football. If we can't throw it up, take my word for it. It's 18 points per game. There it is.
Hey, here's your phone. You be trading that busted up phone, you get your brand new iPhone 16. Oh, just low. So then, family saves 1% every month. What is it? New and existing customers trade in your busted old phone, and we'll give you some iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us.
You have the number one defense. The best quarterback Drew or I have ever seen playing his best football of the year. Did somebody tell you early in the year that Travis Kelce has like 5 or 6 straight games left in him and that he might just be saving them? And riddle me that. A great game popped up when he needed to break some records. And now we're one, Drew. We are 180 short minutes, 12 short quarters, and about 6 long weeks. God, wait for all happy going fishing. Then what's that? 3 wins, and they become in the argument for the best single-season team ever. In the argument, and inarguably the greatest dynasty in NFL history. 3 wins away, and they did it with a week to start. A 3-peat going 18-1, or it was 19-1 or 18-2, whatever.
And quickly, I'm thinking ahead of ourselves, but a 3-peat, we talked, obviously, Mahomes is always in the conversation with Brady. It's 3-7 right now.
Yeah.
But a 3-peat, how many we got to win? 5? We're going to have 4.
It'll be
3-peat.
You know what he's doing.
But we don't need 7. He's stepping. No, it's 3-peat.
No, he's not on my head. For getting that. I appreciate it. I'm afraid now to lose.
Meanwhile, in Houston, Lamar and the Ravens ran all over the Texans as the reigning MVP broke Mike Vick's QB rushing record en route to a 29-point victory. I do like that. 29-point victory.
Yeah, 31. More points than Chiefs scored all year.
Drew, do the Ravens deliver for you on Christmas?
Deliver? They didn't. They made the Texans deliver. Like they did was in Houston at NRG Stadium.
With Beyonce watching.
Beyonce was there. I guess Lamar was his favorite artist for sure. So they went into NRG Stadium in Houston, and they wasn't. I'm just gonna keep it real. They weren't in the mood for pleasantry.
No.
They weren't playing around. They weren't feeling good. All right, because they were like, it's good. We just played a few days ago.
Yeah.
Shit,
dancing for it, nigga.
You gotta travel. Some of you guys wanted to be at home near the Christmas tree, opening up gifts with their kids. So they weren't in the mood for pleasantry with the Texans. So they walked in, opened the door, running through the door, kicked their feet up. And NRG. And they said, CJ, put the TV in. You know what we want to watch. Hawaii. It's a nice robe you got on, bro. It's so nice. Get on it. Take it off and put it on me. I want that robe. And then they said, Nico, Sean, Nico. And now usually at this time of day, I'm putting a sandwich. But we are in Houston, Texas, where they make some of the greatest hot tamales ever. So just bring me a sandwich, bring me a hot tamales, and some chips.
Tamale?
Hot tamale, baby.
Yeah, niggas.
Been in too hot. So we go to a truck. A tow truck? Yeah. Don't want oil truck. So you gonna do? Sexy Patsy, her police going bust.
Hey, Chris, I'm James Jones.
And the reason I'm going to James Jones views and this might be your first time watching at the crib. Kick back, relax, turn your volumes up, call a loved one, then tell them you watch the facility, you're in the facility. James, you have been preaching a message, a student. Yeah, for weeks now. For weeks now, James, you've been saying Lamar Jackson should be the MVP frontrunner. Not many people have agreed with you, at least not on this desk. But after the performance yesterday, has it become abundantly clear to the world, to you at home, that Lamar should be the MVP frontrunner?
First off, I want to start off by saying this is MVP votability. That's so true. This is no for real, because this is the closest that it's been really probably since Barry Sanders and Brett Favre have been co-MVP. It is really, really hard to vote on the MVP because Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson, to me, is the MVP frontrunner. And forget the stats. If you look at these stats, Lamar only threw the ball 15 times, 168 yards, had one. If you watch the game, here you go. Yeah, Lamar Jackson looks like he is on a totally different planet than pro NFL athletes, the best athletes in the world. He looks like he's on a totally different planet playing the game of football. He is an MVP frontrunner, in my humble opinion. He's making everybody around him better. And I know people want to say, well, he has this, he has that. Lamar Jackson on the football field, there's not a game he walks off the football field where we don't say 8 is the best player. There is not a game that we say that. Lamar Jackson is the best player every time he steps on the field. In my humble opinion, he's the best player in the world right now playing the game of football. He's the MVP frontrunner, in my humble opinion. The Luck Nacho and all the MVP voters. But if you watch the game with your eyes, you're walking out of that game like this dude is something else.
Mr. Daniel,
I mean, this question is impossible to answer. And I have no clue because, quite honestly, there are arguments to be made for both cats. Yeah. And when you watch Lamar, James is right. It looks like he's on another level than anyone else on an NFL football field. I feel like it's probably still Josh Allen. Even though we've seen Lamar go 43 total touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I think every person that's ever had MVP that's had over 40 touchdowns and less than 5 picks have won an MVP. This year is the first year where I'm not sure. And I think it's because you look at what Josh has done, 2 less losses, even though the stats for Lamar is better, Josh has 2 less losses, and he's done it with less around him. I think that's sort of what you have to keep in mind when you're out there. I think there's also a little bit of voter fatigue because Lamar's won 2 MVPs. He could win a 3rd. Josh has never won an MVP. And if this year, then what year for Josh? So it's almost an impossible answer. And it's an impossible question. Like, Vegas can say minus 240 for Josh, plus 180 for Lamar. It is getting really close. And the fact of the matter is, Josh is going to play one more game, right? Lamar's been in the MVP national spotlight for 3 weeks in a row. And he's balled out for 3 weeks in a row. So this late season push is a real thing for Lamar. I think it probably still goes to Josh, but I can make an argument for him.
And this thing is tough, though.
It is.
I love Lamar, right? And Josh actually a perfect friend of mine. I'm watching young dude grow from a rookie to a stud superstar. Yeah.
Oh,
It's favorite Lamar. I know. Like Shay, you said it. And I get it, and I argue with about this. It does not when you play it, yeah, right? So I will put that little edge to Lamar right now because when I watch him play, he's like Superman. Yeah. He's the best player on the field. If you watch the game yesterday against the Texans, they run the ball so well. I'm like, dang, we probably don't get a lot of big stats in there. But as the game kept going, he kept getting better. So throwing is running, everything you want to see from him giving you. I'm looking at it like, what are you talking about the stats? I mean, think about this, James. We're not talking about, okay, Lamar just fired the best dual threat he ever seen, which is true. And I put Michael Vick, and I'm saying it's true. The man where he's playing, he might become one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. But get the dual threat, throwing and running. So I got to give it to Lamar right now. Now, John does have another game, right? But I want to say that, Jay, you said something interesting. One-time games. And Lamar does play the games a lot lately. So you see him ball every single game, then you see him Christian ball out. The last time we seen Josh Lee ball out with Brown Town with the Lions, and you see what I'm saying? So it's all about the prisoner of the moment.
Yeah, I said this yesterday walking through the airport. So I was walking through the airport as the game was finishing, the Ravens-Texans game. I was trying to get back to the show. I think for any voter, it would be irresponsible or just intentionally inflammatory for the sake of retweets to state who's the front runner right now.
It would be completely irresponsible if I would say it. Why? Because James has said it, Chase has said it, you know it, and Shady has said it. It is so close that to say that it's Lamar would be to be a prisoner of the moment over the last 24 hours, and to say that it's Josh Allen would be to be relying on a memory that actually isn't that trustworthy, because studies show your memory is not nearly as reliable as you think. Here's what I am looking at. Here's what I want to bring you all into. Over the weekend, the voters, we all got needed. Playing football is rough. It might back you tough. What do you do to me? Just maybe play the fruit. Since going through Max Fishman, Step and Slippers, my back has no complaints. I just step in and try Step and Slippers. And the voter was your official ballot email. Now I want to bring you all into something that there's no way you would have seen before. So here's the criteria for MVP. The thing at the top, it says the MVP player, the MVP award, it goes to the player that had the most valuable season. Again, I'm looking at this at a distance, so y'all can read it better at home than I can right now. I'm doing it off memory. The Offensive Player of the Year award, it goes to the offensive player that had the best all-around offensive season. I bring up that clarity because often we end up in different arguments. You can remove the screen. Sometimes people are like, oh, he had the best season, so he's the MVP. Just so you all know, that's not the criteria that voters are supposed to vote from. The most valuable player, the criteria is the player that had the most valuable season. How you dictate value may be different than how I dictate value. Now to answer the question to someone gave it to. This isn't a stat conversation. No. I don't want anybody to bring up stats when making an MVP argument. Because Lamar Jackson's 10-yard touchdown pass is not just a 10-yard touchdown pass. He's backpedaling. He's backpedaling left. After escaping the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield the whole time, throwing a pass, turning around, on the road, on Christmas Day, all of that context matters, particularly for individuals who have played the game. You got to play on a short week. You got to travel to Houston from Baltimore. You're away from your family. It's on Christmas. It's the whole world watching on a network that's never broadcast a game before, and you're doing it. So I'm not trying to have any statistical conversations regarding this MVP conversation. This MVP conversation should all be film-based. Stats are for individuals who do not have the luxury of watching the game. If you have the luxury of watching the game, it tells a much more conclusive picture. So much to weigh in. I could talk about this for hours at a time, but go ahead. And again,
Really quick though, it's tough because I don't know, but all the voters have not played. So my thing is, right, with these two dudes, like, this is not Lamar Jackson and Matthew Stafford, right? Because you can turn on the tape and be like, well, Matthew Stafford don't run like Lamar Jackson, so we got to go to his passing number and stats and all that to really put him in the MVP. So when you turn the tape on of Josh Allen, you are going to see him winning football games like he did against the Kansas City Chiefs with his legs, running people to score. You are going to see plays where he's out of the pocket, throwing it to Amari Cooper, they tossing it back to him, and he's running it in. You're going to see Superman plays. When you turn Lamar Jackson's tape on, you are going to see Lamar Jackson getting outside of this pocket, cruising down the sideline, running away from people. You're going to see him getting outside the pocket, throwing the ball to Mark Andrews, whoever, making superstar plays. So if you turn the tape on, they going to look the same. They both going to look like Superman. So at the end of the day, you going to have to, if you haven't played the game, come back to those stats, right?
For individuals, I suggest, like, who don't have the experiential experience, like we all do at this desk, obviously I do, I'm going film. But for other individuals, if you got to go stats, like, if that's what you know best, not only that, it's easier to go off stats. Because stats don't necessarily tell you the most important information. Stats tell you the easiest information to garner. Right. It's much easier for me to say, well, Lamar has 43 touchdowns and Josh Allen has 37, so Lamar is better. Right. But that doesn't tell you the fact that Josh Allen is doing it with players who have never played as well as they've ever played since playing with him. Yeah. I suggest that to say, and then Chase, I'll throw you to ooh. We've seen Derrick Henry have as good a season as he's had this year before. No doubt. We've go for 2K. We've never seen Matt Collins do what he's doing. We've never seen Shakur do what he's doing. Yeah. We've never seen, now mind you, Dalton Kincaid was drafted there. Mind you, a lot of people that watch, they don't even know these people you talking about. And again, I don't say that to undermine anybody. I simply suggest that to say stats do not tell the whole picture.
So, when you're talking MVP, you made a good point. It's not just stat-driven. It's most valuable player. If you're a voter, who means more to their team right now? That's how I look at it. Forget about the stats.
Does Josh Allen mean more to this Buffalo Bills team, or does Lamar Jackson mean more to this Baltimore Ravens team? I would lean the way. I agree. It's pretty. I would lean the way toward Josh, and I only say this for one thing. Lamar, you knew what to expect out of Lamar coming back this year. You figured they would be in the race, that they would be a contender in the AFC. Now you could say they've almost underperformed, being at their 11-5 right now, right? Like because they were the 1 seed last year. You look at what Josh Allen is doing in the expectations. No one expected them to be this good and to be the number 2 seed in the AFC. And so when I look at it like that, like the expectation coming into the year, we weren't even talking about, or I wasn't talking about Josh. I said on this show, I said, Josh is going to have to be Superman to get 10 wins. Guess what? They're 12-3, and they win this week, they get the 2 seed. And he's doing with so much less. So I think that's sort of how I view it, and I'm not a voter. But when you talk about valuable, I think Josh is more valuable to this team because without Josh Allen, they're not winning 12 games.
So when you break it down like that, and you show the criteria and what you need,
big news from Mahomes. Switching to iPhone 16 Pro at T-Mobile. It's built for Apple intelligence. That's like peanut butter on jelly on go. Get 4 iPhone 16 Pro on us. Plus 4 lines for $25. What it did. I'll give it away too fast. T-Mobile, slow down.
I think it's favors to Josh. It's hard because I'm watching him. I'm like, I've never seen him play like this. Like, there's nothing you can't do right now. Most players have deficiencies. I don't see no flaws in his game. But then we break it down as far as, okay, well, MVP compared to Offensive Player of the Year, offensive stats, and et cetera. MVP-wise, I mean, Josh Allen was playing with guys that, come on, man. UPS, FedEx, freaking stuff they do. I was saying it, Matt Howard, I mean, like, yo, I read teams. I don't even know these teams. I argue with one of my good friends, but then I'm like, yo, I get the Lamar Jackson job. I was so close. But when we started breaking down who's on the squad, I can see the Ravens somewhere where, okay, Andrews plays solid. Like, the back quarterback, Mahomes plays solid. You got this Harris, you probably 28 some carries, can hold it good enough. Zay Flowers on reverses, on some special passes. Sean Baker's doing this thing. I can see that kind of working, even when Lamar was special. I don't think Josh Allen, he's not special for the Bills. Come on. And that's when you break out an MVP. That's why I said, okay, we're going to move it edge to Josh.
That's what makes it so difficult. Now, Offensive Player of the Year, Lamar Jackson easy. Because if I'm like 260, like, running backs ain't just doing that.
David's going to break the record.
Running backs ain't doing that. I showed you.
With all due respect, this is why I agree with James.
Just hold me up.
Me too. This is why I agree with James wholeheartedly.
Lamar Jackson looks better than Josh Allen. With all due respect. Like after reading, I was on the flight back yesterday. The Steelers game was already a blowout. And so I said, let me start rewatching the Ravens games from this season. I have the apps where you can just watch pass and play so I can do it efficiently. Lamar looks better than Josh. Period. He just does. It doesn't take into the context of Shady just brought up. How come Lamar can look so much better than Josh? Is he just better than Josh? Or are there other things that help him look better than Josh? But to David's point, and to say, Lamar on tape looks better than Josh Allen. That does not mean he is more valuable. That just means his offensive season is best. James, something that is interesting, I'll say this and then I'll throw you to obviously we have to come to a different conversation soon. Something that's interesting is, when I'm watching the game, biggest game for Lamar Jackson this season because the MVP is contended upon. The very first series, I'm like, Lamar, he had the luxury of taking it off. Derrick Henry goes down the field. I think it was 76 rushing yards Derrick Henry had in the first quarter. Really. If y'all remember, first quarter, it wasn't the first series. Lamar Jackson was able to take like the quarter off. Yeah. He had a scramble for 25 yards, and he found Zay Flowers over the middle on a hookup route. 4 times. And I was like, this is amazing. Like Lamar, no shame, but Lamar had the luxury of taking a quarter off. Josh Allen he's not afforded those luxuries. He's just not. So I think they're thinking the game, not that they can't run the ball, but we all sitting up here know, James Cook and Derrick Henry, I do not care about stats. They are not the same players. They are not the same players. People are trying to show me, well, James Cook is third in the NFL in touchdowns. James has humbly admitted he led the league in receiving touchdowns one year. I don't think he can compare himself to Larry Fitzgerald. No. So you can leave the league. You should compare. I'm saying all that to say, like, Lamar was able to take a quarter off. Josh doesn't have that luxury. No slight, just the realization.
You know what's crazy, though, is like, So playing with Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers used to get this same slap, right? Because obviously got a lot of young talent around him, Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, James Jones, Jordan Nelson, all that. And we all would sit up here and say, our stats ain't what they are today if we didn't play with Aaron Rodgers. It is some plays that Aaron Rodgers made or some throws that Aaron Rodgers made to where we like, another quarterback ain't making that play. The only reason why I disagree with y'all about who they kind of playing with is when I watch Lamar, anybody can make those catches that he's throwing to them dudes too. It's not like we're seeing Mark Andrews or Zay Flowers or Rashad Bateman or Isaiah Likely lost-ing people and doing it. Lamar is Superman. The touchdown pass to Isaiah Likely, Matt Collins can make that play because Lamar made that play. I truly believe this is the hardest it's going to be because if you drop Lamar in Buffalo, they don't have success. If you put Josh in Baltimore, they don't have success. Because they are both two elite quarterbacks and they're Superman on the field. So when you say talent, I can see if Lamar's just back there and he's like throwing it up and they just want to make A.J. Brown do. But they're not. Lamar is making these plays, man. Two things. You said something about Zay Flowers? I love Zay. What's your reaction? You saying like they should just? I'm saying if Zay went to Buffalo right now, he's the number one. No, forget the Buffalo. I'm talking about with the Ravens. If he gives Zay a freaking pass, first of all, let me get to that point. He's not getting open. Like with the Bills, listen, it can be an easy game for the defense. We're gonna make sure Josh don't scramble. We're gonna play man covered because our secondary is better than wide receivers. The Ravens did it. Yes, they did. We go to the Ravens. You not gonna say that, yo. Hey, you not say you like Rashad Bateman. You know Ravens. That's it. We're not talking like that. We're not talking like, hey, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop this freaking beast in the backfield. We're not talking like that.
I don't know now. I don't often get to watch games with my brother. My brother played 9 years in the NFL. We're watching a game yesterday, looking at the run. He thinks I didn't know for.
That was on the side.
And James, I was watching that, I was like, Houston was in the bind. Because if Derrick Henry's in the backfield, you can't sit him too high. They tried to sit him high, and Derrick Henry was gashing, so you have to sit in one high. You don't have to give the Bills what they famous plays. The reason that matters is when you the extra run defender means Lamar Jackson has one less pass defender. But if Josh out.
So this is how I became the most interesting person. Here's one habit that makes you extremely intelligent. To play social media hyperlearn. If you heard about this app anyway, that is like scrolling with it, and it's a game changer. Whenever you are bored or have an extra 15 minutes a day, just read book science, it can be addictive too. I recommend everybody try hyperlearn Headway.
Hello, it's your favorite sports funk here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make focus. As I mentioned at the top, behind a dominant run game, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry throttled the Houston Texans by a score of 31-2. They took over first place because the Steelers lost earlier today. They took over the first place in the AFC North. Lamar Jackson only had to throw the ball 10 times. He completed 10 of those for 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, while rushing for 87 yards on 4 carries, including a 48-yard touchdown run. Derrick Henry, 148 rush yards, 27 carries, and a touchdown. He had 86 yards in the first carry. And so he also set a single-season total touchdown record as far as running back and receivers. Everybody. He had 16 total touchdowns, broke the record that he shared with Ray Rice. But the Ravens look really, really good today. They look dominant on both sides of the football, and that's what you want to see. Getting into the playoffs as the season winds down, you want to start playing some of your best football, and the Baltimore Ravens are doing that.
So I have a question for you now. Now, based on what we saw from Lamar Jackson today, Derrick Henry showed the load. Derrick Henry showed the whole package based on why they won the game. So as far as the MVP race is concerned, when we talked last time, you said for you, Lamar Jackson is the MVP, somewhat running away with it, especially after today's win. Is your thoughts on your MVP going to change once we see the Bears Josh Allen play tomorrow and he puts up another unbelievable Superman performance? Or are we still with the bar in the next 2 days?
I think it's close, Ocho, and the thing is that the question is, if they win tomorrow, They clinched the second seed.
Yes,
So does Josh Allen play the final game of the season? Lamar's going to play because right now they're in number one. They're in first place in the AFC North. Okay. Now, if Pittsburgh wins next week and Baltimore lose, Pittsburgh re-jumps them, and so now they're on the road for the first game instead of being at home.
Okay, let me give you a small tidbit real quick. So this weekend, matter of fact, Saturday, the Bengals play the Broncos, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So after the Bengals beat the Broncos, the following week, the Bengals are playing the Steelers.
Yes.
And the Bengals have to win the next two games in order to get out of the hunt and be in the playoffs and have somewhat of a wild card.
Correct.
So
they also got to hope the Broncos against Kansas City, which Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and a lot of their starters aren't going to play because they've sold up the number one seed. You're not going to risk it. So now you got Kansas City that's not going to play any of their starters next week. Chris Jones is out. He missed today. So now you're looking at Kansas City. Mahomes is not playing. He's going to be in street clothes. Travis Kelce will be in street clothes. A lot of their starters will be in street clothes. Like, you got to play. You only got like 8 offensive linemen. A lot of your offensive linemen got to play.
They don't have no choice.
They got no choice. But some of your skill positions, you might call up some of your practice squad guys, like give them an opportunity to get a real game check in a situation like that. But you're absolutely right. Steelers have to win their last two. Hope the Broncos lose their last two. But they also got to go Indy and Miami lose one. But if Indy and Miami win out, it doesn't matter what the Bengals do. It doesn't matter what the Broncos do. So they're behind the Bengals, they're behind the Dolphins, they're behind the Colts, and they're behind the Broncos. So they need the Broncos to lose their last two, and they need Indy and Miami to lose at least one while they win out.
Can Ash hear me?
Yes.
Ash, who does Indy last two games and who are the Dolphins last two games? Please tell me somebody that's beatable. A team that have winning records.
Dimer.
I think they got Buffalo. I know. No. Miami got the, but see, here's the thing. Remember, as a matter of fact, they got the Jets tomorrow. Buffalo got the Jets and the Patriots. Miami has the Browns and the Jets.
Oh, that's not fair. Hell no, man.
And Indy got Tennessee. Indy has the Giants and the Jags. Where they play? They're at the Giants home versus the Jags. So you need a lot of things to really go right for you guys in order to really make the playoffs. And Ocho, this is what we always say. I hated that because I've been in that situation that the Bengals are in because we didn't take care of our business early in the season. Now I got to hope and pray. Man, I'm praying somebody else loses. I'm praying this happens. Right. No, all you had to do was take care of what you're supposed to, and then you get to sit back and hope somebody else has to do that dirty work. I don't have to worry about that. But I think Kansas City, like where they are, they're like, look, we did what we needed to do. We went on the road, and they dominated the Steelers on both sides of the football. Yeah,
that's all.
We got to find nothing nobody else do. Now we get an opportunity to rest up. And if you look at Ocho, the last couple of games, they look really good. Especially
Dimer.
Clean game, easily. He threw the ball really well. They did a great job of throwing the football. Because against the Steelers,
take that.
You got to be convicted.
Yeah, pull that. Rakata, you trash. Rakata. You got to hit that.
You got to be committed. No matter who you're playing. If you want to run the football, Ocho, it's a commitment. Yeah. You look at the Ravens. That's why the Ravens, for the most part, they
scary ass nigga.
Commitment to run the football.
No matter what.
You got to double
what the fuck we do on this bench, nigga? Know who the fuck I am, nigga? I'm that boy.
Those going to be played with low yardage.
Get Rizzy on my Rizzy, word?
And that's what the Ravens, for the most part, because you look at when they struggle, they get away from the.
Tell them niggas get Rizzy on my Rizzy.
15 times tonight. He completed 10.
I should have had a triple dub out this bitch. Y'all niggas was missing shots on my shit, word?
He loved
on the Feezy.
Yeah. He loved it. He had in one season he had a game where he rushed for 211
no block,
and followed it up on the road with a 250. Yeah. I think he had 7 games. I think he had like Like
I needed a
7 games.
Blizzy Yaki out there, bitch. I needed a Blizzy Yaki okay?
So, no, I don't think we should be surprised that he had the type of game against the Houston Texans. But the Baltimore Ravens showed commitment to run the football.
Yeah.
They're very difficult to beat. And we see how dynamic they are. And see, what happened was they got up to this great running start, and you saw what the Texans tried to do. They started pinching. They started knifing. And John Mother said, okay, Will Anderson, you want a knife?
Right.
Hey, we're going to fake it. Lamar, you keep it, and we're going to pull it around. And now he hit on the goal post from 48 yards away.
Yep.
I'm going to make you play us honest now. Now, if you want to go against what you're supposed to do and knife down in there to trap Derrick Henry in the backfield, okay. Yeah, Lamar, we're going to run the same formation. We're going to give him the same design. Because the last time they brought Zay Flowers, he disregarded Zay. I ain't worried about you, Zay. You ain't going to do nothing.
Right.
So this time, they brought a tight end. He disregarded it. Now, you got an extra blocker up on somebody. You get a kick out. You get...
By 6, we're gonna be on the curb.
Well, you can count on your best friend.
If you get this job, you make me this for real. You got this, okay? Been that girl.
To always have your back.
Someone threw retro Jordans up here. Come on to this work, Alyssa. Get down.
Don't you was a guard.
You're not gonna be able to get rid of me. You want me? Good cancer. Yeah, Tino Martini is coming up. Yeah. We just gotta run with quality.
It's January 17th. Rated R.
Pin down, and now it's your safety. Tackle him if you can.
At that point, it's all about the number game. It's a number game at that point. Yeah. Listen, with the Ravens playing the way they're playing, with us, common sense, you've been preaching it all season long. Anytime they run the ball a certain number of times using Derrick Henry and not allowing Lamar Jackson to be back there and be pass happy and allowing the pass plays to actually come to them and not forcing the issue, let Derrick Henry take care of everything. Obviously, the way they play the game is an old school.